the mother use me?
Oh, it ain't gotta be that.
No, you say she using me. How you know? How you know?
Cause she young.
Y'all so loud.
I know 28-year-olds.
He pissing me off.
You know.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. I told you guys about Chanda and Tyrese. Oh my days, oh my days, oh my days. And talking about the rest of the cast as well. Talking about Kweilon and Chevelle. And also talking about Maurice as well. So guys, if you like, if you're new to, guys, if you're new... Guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for a notification of the uploads. For those of you who are returnees, you got the minerals, you got the minerals. Alright guys, take us all the way down to 30k subscribers. Make sure you like, you share it, and you subscribe to it. Understand, yeah? Alright, and then those of you who are returnees, mineral gun. Don't forget to like the video, feel me, you get me? Mineral gun. Alright, cool. Let's get into the video. So, watching obviously Love After Lockup, really interesting, I think, on this particular episode. Why? Well, because we have obviously different things that are happening. I love the Chanda and Tyrese situation because Tyrese is a father of three, first of all. And I want to say this straight. I love when people have a great relationship with their children, that even when they break up, they still have a great relationship with their children.
Old man is old. I'm protective over him, and if she's 28, I don't trust her.
My dad is loving, caring, supportive my whole life. You know, we always had a tight bond.
Right? So you see with Tyrese, at least we saw with his daughter and his son, all right? The way they were speaking to him, even though they weren't agreeing with him, there was a love there, right? They wanted to protect him, they wanted to look after him, and there were some glowing words from both the son and the daughter towards how they felt about their father. They both said some positive words about their father. And that's a very key thing to see a black man, because we normally see on our TV screens a black man abandoning his kids. It's good to see, even though he had divorced at 30, that was what, 20 years ago? Because he's 49 now. 20 years ago, and still his children say that he's a loving father. That's very important, quintessential. I want to kick off like that. I want to start like that. Start strong, show you guys that. Do you know what I'm saying? That comes from developing a strong bond with your children. And I say it again, presence. Being present is better than having a present in your hand. Why? Because your presence can be felt and will be remembered. A present is almost like sometimes a cheap way of saying, sorry, I wasn't there. Yeah, and so we revel in the presence of a person rather than the present. Cool. So with the Chanda and Tyrese situation, obviously, you know, Tyrese was obviously a little bit embarrassed. Let's be honest. He was a little bit embarrassed and a little bit shook.
Stuff like that. We won't know who she is, where she from.
We just want to meet her.
You didn't talk to your kids?
Let me tell you something. They knew bits and pieces.
But you know, we tell each other everything.
To tell his children, first of all, that the woman was white. Second of all, how young the woman really was. And the fact that how long she'd been in prison for. Because he exposed that all in that video just there. He exposed that all in that scene where they were at the house. He exposed it all there. Number one, let's talk about it. The fact that she was white. Alright, cool. Now, he obviously didn't disclose that she was white. There's a reason why. Right? Because obviously as black people, we do have this innate kind of thing sometimes where we feel like we should marry black. Right? My point of view as well. I think it's very important to understand that, you know, his happiness is what the kids want. And I think moving to that second section, which is that the kids obviously were showing their concern for their father. The fact that obviously he's 49, the woman he's chosen is 20 what? 7, 28? Alright, so almost 20 years or whatever younger. And the son obviously jumps out, and I think it was a bit of, I think they might have forced a scene, I'm not sure. But he jumps out and says, obviously, Dad, you're going to get used. You know, what do you know about no 28-year-old? You know what I'm saying? Da, 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 da. But the truth of the matter is, obviously, being that much older and having that younger, there is a chance of being used, right? There's also a chance it could work out really well, but there is a chance that it can be used. And I think listening to sound counsel of your children, I think, was very, very important. They weren't trying to shoot you or kill you, but they were being very, very real. And obviously, this is the reason why he didn't want to tell them, because he knew they would disagree. I think he knew they would not necessarily be happy with the decision. I think he mentioned it in the last episode. So he doesn't tell them all the details and all the facts. Because the moment I have to hide certain facts from you, it means that I'm not fully happy, or I'm not sure, or not even I'm sure, maybe I'm even sure. I'm aware of how you behave. I'm aware of what decision you will make. I'm aware of how you might take it. So I change my decision to tell you the information because I don't want you to judge, right? Because you saw his back against the wall, and I saw that obviously when you're talking to your cousin at first, when the kids came over, then the nature changed, right? The situation towards the situation of him explaining changed, right? And even one part, even within the conversation between his son and his daughter, as he was talking to them, explaining his side of things, he said, obviously, none of you can tell me what to do if you don't pay my bills, right? And he turns to his cousin and says, right? And the cousin goes, no. And this is why I said that men need other men who are going to be real. Not people who just say yes to you, but going to be real. No. Because that's not correct. Like, your children can care about you, regardless whether they pay the bills or not, they can care about you. Your cousin doesn't pay your bills. Does he not care about you? Exactly. So it's not about who pays the bills. It's about whether I care about you, whether I'm able to expound or say something into your life. And I think that the fact that he didn't want them to do that, and he said obviously towards the end as well, it's going to be, if they don't want her, then it's going to be me and her against the whole world. It's like, yo, already?
So you know what? If it's me and her against the world, that's what it is.
Bro, like, yo, it's not been that long. Are you that lonely and desperate that you're willing to say that statement so early? And I think that's what we're talking about, because now we're talking about desperation. Because oftentimes, an impulse buyer, is somebody who buys things off the cuff of an emotion. They don't have time to think. It's unprepared, unplanned decision making, Buy it straight off, right? That impulse buying. And what happens is when you impulse buy is that you're not thinking. You're just doing. You're reacting. And same here in relationships. People do the same kind of thinking where they impulse buy and don't think about the purchase they're making, causing there to be an issue in later on because you didn't see all the minute details you needed to see because you impulse bought. You didn't check the ingredients on the back of the packet. You didn't check what goes into the actual food. You didn't even check, you just saw the bright colors on it and maybe a flavor that you liked and thought, I'll buy that, right? Without checking anything else, not doing due diligence. And so there's an impulse buying that happens in relationships, and then you become very defensive over your own decision because you don't want no one to tell you, and you don't want anyone else to question your decision. You want autonomy. You want authority. You want control. You're scared that you can make a mistake. So you say, I don't want anyone to tell me nothing. I've been there. Trust me. I've dated people and I've not wanted to tell everybody what's going on because I'm like, I don't want everybody to know because I don't want them to tell me something. Like, I want these people to live my life, right? But the truth of the matter is, the reason why you do that and you're not open is because you yourself know that you're not comfortable with the decision you've made. You're not. So even though you're saying you and me and her against the whole world, you didn't want to tell your kids up first. That lets me know a lot. That lets me know a whole lot.
Hello? Auntie, I went in there and they basically saying that the paperwork, even though they put it in Friday, it just don't happen overnight, so I gotta wait.
He's obviously married now, looking to go to Vegas. And I think what's really key about this particular episode for them is the way that he views LA and then sees LA as another prison. He sees LA as almost like, if I come here, I could easily get locked up for good again. He's on second strike. If he gets one more, he's done. You know what I'm saying? And so when he goes, obviously, the whole thing is about him going to the parole office and hopefully getting a transfer to Las Vegas where his wife is at, but ends up not being able to do it because they block the move and say, sorry, you can't do it. You must stay in LA. And I think even for me, I was watching, I was a bit saddened because I was like, if this is a brother trying to make a change in his life, this is a brother trying to make a change in his situation. This is a brother saying, I don't want to live the same life I was living before. I want to do something different. And yet he's not allowed to do that because if he does do that, then then he could be in trouble because at the end of the day, he has to wait for the 60 days to come. And it's a very long time. Look, when you're on a ticking time bomb, it's a very long time.
My daughter grow up, man, through pictures. Me being in prison, man, I missed a whole lot of time. And just like people I knew, to see their face on the obituary so fast, so early, like, oh, you didn't even make it to see 25. Like,
to be in a melting pot. At any given point in time, you could end up in some situation which might not even be your fault necessarily, but just the way that cards are dealt. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting that this is happening to him, and actually, I would rather see him in Las Vegas too. I'd rather see him away from the trouble where he's with his wife, and actually has a better chance and a better shot at making it. So unfortunately, the parole officer didn't allow him to go to Vegas, and obviously I get it because the paperwork didn't come through. It's only been a few days, so it's procedural. I get it. There is protocol. I get it. But it's just a shame because obviously we don't want to see him go back into prison. And you can see obviously the pain on his wife's face when she finds out. They both find out that they're not able to go to Vegas. You know, he's sad. He's depressed. You see, she's also sad as well, almost crying in the car. Like, they want to be able to make this work, and I really do appreciate that. And I see the grind, I see the effort the guy's making to not want to go back. You know, there are so many black men that are incarcerated, and you know, in your mind when you get sent, you realize this is not where I want to be, man. I mean, it's not where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to do something different. I don't want to be in the same place. I don't want to do the same things. I don't want to... Like, it was only the other episode ago that he first went on a plane. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you have to deep it. Like, it's not that simple. And I pray that they make it through, you know? I know that, obviously, you know, they had some... that run-in, and hopefully, and we also got to learn as well, he's got a 9-year-old daughter. So I wonder how that's going to play about, because obviously, this is the first one we've actually, it's the first one I've heard about this 9-year-old daughter that he has. How does that play into dealing with, you know, his wife now? How is the kid going to fit into his lifestyle? Like, is the kid going to be in Compton, or going to be in LA, are they going to be in Vegas? Like, what's happening here?
Oh my God, look at you!
What's up, baby?
Oh my goodness! Oh!
I think obviously it's the end on Kweilon and Chevelle. Obviously Kweilon came out of the prison. I love the reaction by the mum, and I love the reaction by Chevelle as well. Can tell that they really wanted to see him get out. And the way that Chevelle almost felt like it was unreal to see the fact that he came out of prison. I think my first reaction when I saw him and then saw her, and I said, is this guy going to be okay? Is this guy going to really be okay? And I'm hoping that he didn't choose this girl, just like last year, season, I think it was last year's season as well, that he didn't choose her just to get money. He didn't choose her just to get out of prison. He didn't choose her just because he wants safety net. I hope he chose her because he really, really likes her. But yeah, the beef obviously between the mum and her obviously didn't get extended. It didn't get extended in this particular episode, but we are very much aware on the peripheral whether where is he going to. He didn't even mention it when he got in the car. Obviously, it's probably not the right time, but he hasn't mentioned it. Do you know what I mean? About where he's going to stay, what's going to happen. And I think that's going to be the next episode where he's going to have to discuss where is he going. Like, and this is the thing about relationships. Trust is quintessential. When you break it, it's done. It's so hard to repair. It's like tearing an Achilles. It will repair, but fam, it might never be the same. You know what I mean? Like, it's never going to be a fresh Achilles that you had before. So it's important to understand that, you know, these relationships require us to be honest at all times. So when he obviously is talking to his mum and saying he wants to move there, he hasn't told his wife that. Oh, sorry, he hasn't told Chevelle. She hasn't told Chevelle that. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I hope they make it through. I hope they get there, and I hope that the true colours of him shows early, so that she doesn't waste too much time if he's lying. But I don't know. I pray that you guys liked the review. Let us know your thoughts down below. What was your thoughts on you know, the couples, Maurice and his wife? What about Kweilon and Chevelle, and Tyrice and Chanda? I mean, what's your thoughts? Let us know down below. What do you think? What do you feel? Let us know your thoughts down below. Appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. More love.